Yeah, I always wanted to know if I'm living on a destructive path to nowhere. The reason why I bring this up today is because of the people that I run in contact with, come in contact with, and the issues that I see in front of me each day. I always wanted to know why we're so divided, separate from each other. I always wanted to know why other nationalities or races of people don't reach out to black people, people of color, as we are supposed to, be so inclusive in reaching out to others. Maybe we're not doing our part. Maybe the world is not doing their part. Maybe there's the other issues at stake why we're not connecting with each other the way we could, the way we should, and to make it a better world for all of us. Okay, let's call out the nationalities for a second. Spanish, Latin, Dominican, Mexicans, Guatemalans, Ecuador, people from Honduras, the Latin population. How many of them reached out to black people on different levels? How many friends do you have that you can honestly say that you knew for years at a time? How many of those friends are still on your Facebook page? How many of them are on your Facebook page? How many people have you ever met of other nationalities that have been on your page that have said to you, this is what real friendship is all about? They valued your friendship. How many of them are representing you when you have an issue and they come to your back? They're there when you need them to be there. How many black people do that for each other? How many black people would come to your back if you had an issue going on Facebook or beyond? Out in the real world. Out in the real world each day, whether you know them or not. Where is the unity in people? Where does it start and where does it end? The unity in people, where is it? Not just talking about chatter, talking, voicing messages and responding to people on the text message part of it. I'm saying on a really day-to-day basis. Someone you know or don't know, or people that you come into contact with. Okay, what about the races of a unity? Where is it at in the world today? Where is it at? Are white people relating more to black people generally? From one nationality to another, day-to-day life, people, places, and things, anywhere you go. Women are relating more to black men, white women. Oh yeah, there's a lot of interracial relationships going on. There's probably black men marrying white women who have relationships, girlfriend and boyfriend relationships. All that's all on a small level. Okay, we know that the world is a melting pot of who's doing what, who's responding to who. But when you're on a Facebook page, are they really responding that way in great numbers? Think about it. Where is the breakdown and the separation with communication? Do they really understand us as we understand them? Do they really understand who we are based on personality, characteristics, day-to-day life, what we do, how we achieve our dreams, how we achieve our goals? What is it based on? Whether you have a job, a career, whether you make good money, whether you are successful, whether you are a popular celebrity or a person that's average to upper middle class, class of lifestyle, what do you base it on? I mean, you go to these places, you might go to a restaurant, you might go to a clinic, you might go to different places where people work. There's different nationalities of people working in different functions, different companies, different corporations. What do you think they talk about? What do you think that goes on beyond just having a few specks of black people working in the news stations or anchors, or they become journalists working at CNN or NBC or CBS? I mean, you know about the Al Ropers, and you know about all the big names that run into the numbers of cable news. Let me ask you something. Do you still see a divided nation by nationality? By nationality, do you still see what goes on in everyday life? I know because I walk the streets. I'm out in the communities. I'm out in the neighborhoods. Okay, I've been watching this for years. Asian friends, zero. I don't have any. Hispanic friends, very few. Very few. Probably can count them on both hands. Now, let me ask you one more question. What did that do for me? Beyond people of my own race, how did that help me advance my cause on any level? People lose contact. They don't look at you the same way. They don't talk to you. They don't acknowledge you. They make sure that you don't exist anymore in memory. I had that happen over and over again. Women, men, doesn't matter. They look at you and act as if you don't exist. The isolated state of mind deals with why. Why is it that people shun each other? They don't relate, they don't respond, they don't respect, they don't have the sense of understanding that we're all human. The mistakes that we make is to ourselves and to others. Mistakes that deals with the lack of respect. Whether I speak your language or not, it's not my language. English is not my interpret language. Just like anything else in life, you have to re-educate yourself. You have to re-educate your mind. You have to re-educate what it is that you don't know. Speak your own language. Speak the life that you live. If it's more like a lifestyle of figuring out your greatest purpose in life and figuring out why God had me here. Why am I here now? What is the purpose of me being here? When there's so many conflicts of war, so many different measures of unhappiness, sorrow, misery, and at a point where you got to find your faith in something that's going to pull you out of that dark spell of problems that may not be fixed by people talking to you, whether they know you or don't know you. Okay, so there's millions of people that would never know me. There's probably billions that would never know me. They would never understand me. They would never relate to me as a person of the universe. But they like living in an isolated world to themselves. They like living in an isolated world to themselves. Because if you ain't of their race, nationality, culture, background, you're really like a second class citizen all over again. You know? Second class, third class, whatever. You're more like secondary. You're not really what they call valuable. You know, something is valuable. You always make it your first priority, no matter what you're doing in life, no matter what your time schedule is, no matter what goes on around you. You always make sure that you never forget who that person is and what they stand for and what they mean to you. Because women always say that to a man. I hear it. I hear women talking about that. Am I your first priority? They want to be the man's first priority. They want the man to be their first priority. When you're in a relationship with a woman, whether you're married, domestic relationship, whatever it is, okay, there's so many different styles of relationships now. Domestic partnership and all that. Yeah, there's so many. When you get into a situation and you ask a woman what it is that continually keeps you together with her, ask that question to her, and you'll get a different answer by every woman. Every woman has a different answer for that. Just like men do. And men are being tested and they ask the same question. Okay, could I have lived my life separately as a single man and continue to live that way? Or do I think and feel that I'm obligated to be in a relationship or be in a committed relationship with a woman? Which way works better for me? Making the choices and figuring out the lifestyle of both. Because I crossed over on both sides. I've been on the marriage, I've been married, I've been separated, I've been divorced. See, this is the phases of it. And I've been single. My status now, as a single man, I'm saying to you, what do you believe works better? I'll get back on part 2 on that.